God's supposed to be perfect, right? That's what they keep telling us. Perfect, flawless, no mistakes, infinite wisdom, eternal power, the Alpha and the Omega. Sounds great on paper, but then you open the actual stories and what do you see? A guy with mood swings, anger issues, jealousy problems, and the kind of insecurity that makes a high school cheerleader look emotionally balanced. For someone who's supposedly running the universe, he spends an awful lot of time acting like a jealous boyfriend who can't stop checking your phone. Think about it. The first thing he does after creating paradise is put one tree in the middle of the garden and say, don't touch it. That's not divine wisdom. That's a setup. That's emotional entrapment. That's the kind of thing a toxic partner does. Don't look in that drawer. And of course you're going to look in the drawer because you're human. And then when you do, he blows up. He's like, how dare you? Now everyone has to die forever. That's not holy judgment. That's a tantrum. That's an overreaction of biblical proportions. Literally. And then we're told he's all loving. Really? All loving? If that's what love looks like, I'd hate to see what hate looks like. Because when people don't listen to him, he doesn't say, I'm disappointed, let's talk about it. No, he floods the entire world, wipes everybody out. Kids, grandparents, the guy who was just trying to plant tomatoes in his backyard. That's not love. That's not even discipline. That's a guy who forgot to take his medication. That's emotional baggage spilling all over the universe. If God went to therapy, the therapist would need therapy after one session. Imagine it. The therapist sits there, notepad ready. So God, what brings you here today? And God says, well, I created humans in my image, and then they disappointed me, so I drowned them all. That's not divine justice. That's an episode of intervention. That's not omnipotence. That's unresolved trauma and jealousy. Let's talk about jealousy. Supposedly God is a jealous God. The creator of galaxies, the one who designed black holes and quasars, still gets jealous if you light the wrong candle or kneel on the wrong rug. Billions of galaxies out there, and he's peeking over your shoulder like, hey, are you praying to me or that other guy? Huh? You better not be seeing other gods. What kind of cosmic being gets jealous of statues? If you're truly omnipotent, you don't need to compete with a golden cow. You should be laughing at it. Go ahead, pray to the cow. Let's see if it moves your rent check this month. But no, he takes it personally, real personally. He punishes entire civilizations because somebody carved a rock the wrong way. That's not holy justice. That's fragile ego. That's divine insecurity. If he really is everywhere, sees everything, knows everything, then he already knows humans are idiots. Why get so worked up about it? If you know we're going to mess up and you get mad anyway, that's not divine. That's codependency. And the constant need for praise. This is the Almighty, the King of Kings, the All-Powerful. And yet every week, he wants the same thing. Songs, prayers, endless flattery. Tell me I'm good. Tell me I'm merciful. Tell me you love me. Now say it louder. Sounds less like a god and more like a middle-aged lounge singer. I want to hear you in the back, folks. Come on, let's give it up for the Lord tonight. How much validation does he need? If you're perfect, you shouldn't need anyone to tell you. But every religion says the same thing. He wants worship. He demands obedience. He needs to be reminded that he's the greatest. Doesn't that sound a little insecure? If I was the ruler of the cosmos, I wouldn't give a damn if a bunch of ants remembered my name. It gets even funnier when you realize he can't handle rejection. People choose not to follow him. And what's the reaction? Eternal damnation. Forever. No parole. No appeal. You don't believe in me? Enjoy infinite torture. That's not justice. That's not fairness. That's an ex who can't let go. If you won't love me, no one will. Burn forever. That's not holiness. That's fatal attraction. And I don't think perfect beings boil rabbits in a pot. Now imagine this same God sitting in therapy. Therapist leans forward. So, God, why do you think you lash out at your creation? And God goes, well, I gave them free will, but I hate when they use it. And the therapist says, so you gave them free will so they could love you freely, but when they don't, and God says, exactly. And the therapist just writes down control issues. What about those mood swings? 1 minute He's merciful. The next he's smiting cities. That's not divine consistency. That's bipolar with a thunderbolt budget. He's like a cosmic landlord. Pay me respect on time or I'll burn the building down. And the people still come crawling back week after week. Oh, Lord, we're sorry. They keep telling us God is almighty, all-powerful, ruler of the universe, King of kings, Lord of lords, master of everything. And yet, for some reason, he's got the ego of a lounge singer who just bombed on karaoke night. You ever notice that? This is supposed to be the guy who created everything, galaxies, time, space, the whole deal. And what does he want most from you? Compliments. He needs compliments. Non-stop, every Sunday, every Friday, every Saturday, depending on which team you play for. You got to show up, sit down, stand up, kneel down, sing, chant, recite, praise, glorify, adore. If you don't, he gets upset. You think an all-powerful being would be secure enough not to need applause, but not this guy. He's the only one who built the universe and still needs Yelp reviews. Imagine that. Billions of galaxies, trillions of stars, a universe so big our tiny brains can't even comprehend it, and he's worried about how much enthusiasm you put into singing, "Holy, holy, holy." Really? If you're the creator of existence, why do you need a cover band every weekend? It's like running infinity and still demanding fan mail. If I was running the cosmos, I wouldn't care if anybody remembered my name. But this guy, he's the divine version of like, share, and subscribe. And it's not just a little thank you. No. It's not enough to just appreciate life and move on. He wants full worship. Hands in the air, singing from the diaphragm, bowing down, total submission, the big show. If you don't do it, if you don't put enough enthusiasm into it, he gets offended. He's the only landlord in history who wants rent paid in compliments. You missed church this week? That's a late fee, pal. Hope you like eternal fire. Think about how insecure that is. This is supposed to be the most powerful being in existence, and he's keeping track of who's clapping. He's up there going, "Hey, I noticed you didn't close your eyes during the prayer. What's that about? You got someone else on your mind?" It's like dating the clingiest partner in the universe. Why didn't you call? Why didn't you text? Do you still love me? Say it again, louder. The whole system is basically one long open mic night to keep his ego from collapsing. Billions of people reciting the same thing over and over. You're great. You're merciful. You're the best. There's no one like you. If he's perfect, he already knows that. What's the point? Unless he doesn't know. Unless he needs to hear it because he doesn't quite believe it himself. That's not perfection. That's insecurity, dressed in a robe. And isn't it funny how the praise never ends? Every single culture, every single religion, all saying the same thing in different ways. He needs worship constantly. Temples, mosques, churches, shrines. You can't just acknowledge he exists, you gotta flatter him. You can't just live a decent life, you gotta sing about it. He's like that boss at work who doesn't just want the job done, he wants you to tell him how brilliant he is for thinking of it. Yes, Lord, what a genius idea, making light amazing. Who would have thought of that? You look around, you see all these rituals, all these people on their knees, all these songs, all these prayers, and you realize something. This isn't religion. This is group therapy for God. It's 7 billion people keeping his self-esteem afloat, and he's addicted to it. He can't get enough. He's like a celebrity who Googles himself every morning just to see if the press still cares. And if you don't give him the attention, oh boy, that's when the fun starts. If you skip church, he's angry. If you say the wrong word, he's offended. If you happen to believe in a different version of him, he's furious. He's like a cosmic diva. Oh, you went to that other God show? You like their performance better? Well, guess what, plague of locusts? That's not divine justice. That's professional jealousy. Here's the crazy part. If he really made us, he knows how dumb we are. He knows we forget things, we get distracted, we get tired, we make mistakes, and yet he still insists we put on this whole act for him every week. If he wanted perfection, he should have programmed robots. But no, he wanted free will, which basically means I'm giving you the choice to love me, but if you don't, I'll set you on fire forever. That's not free will. That's mafia free will. That soul you got there, shame if something happened to it. You ever wonder what heaven looks like? According to the descriptions, it's endless worship. That's it. That's the big reward. You die, you go up there, and you get to sing praises for eternity. I'm sorry, but that sounds less like paradise and more like a hostage situation. Keep clapping or we'll send you downstairs. Eternity of applause. Who actually wants that? After about 3 hymns, I'd be bored out of my skull. Even Elvis knew when to leave the stage. And why does he even need praise from us? We're tiny. You ever notice God doesn't solve problems the way a healthy person would? A healthy person gets upset, they take a walk, they vent, maybe they talk it out with a friend, maybe even see a therapist. But God, he doesn't do that. No, when he's mad, he floods the entire world. He throws lightning bolts. He wipes out cities. He kills the firstborn. That's not divine justice. That's an anger management problem with an unlimited weapons budget. The guy's been holding grudges since the beginning of time. Somebody eats one piece of fruit, he curses the entire human race forever. That's not justice, that's pettiness with a side of eternity. That's the kind of thing that makes you think, maybe what this guy needs isn't more worship. Maybe he needs to sit on a couch, talk to someone with a notepad, and unpack why he can't deal with disappointment without wiping out entire civilizations. Imagine him in anger management. Hi, my name is God, and I have smiting issues. Everyone claps. Hi, God. And the counselor says, so, what triggered you this week? And he goes, well, they built a tower in Babylon, and instead of just ignoring it, I scrambled their languages for the next 10,000 years. That's not well adjusted. That's a toddler with thunderbolts. The guy never learned how to count to 10, never learned deep breathing, never learned, okay, I'm upset, let me take a second. Instead, he jumps straight to plagues of frogs. That's not a balanced reaction. That's throwing a nuclear tantrum. And you can't say he's perfect if he needs that kind of reaction. Perfect beings don't need to punish everyone forever because someone broke a rule once. Perfect beings say, okay, let's work on this. Let's find a healthier solution, but not him. With him, it's all or nothing. You mess up one time, it's eternal damnation. You miss a prayer, you eat shrimp on the wrong day, and suddenly you're in fire forever. What kind of perfect being acts like that? That's not holiness. That's a control freak with abandonment issues. He doesn't even try the simple stuff. No talking it out. No compromise. No let's see your side of the story. Number straight to the smiting. Straight to the hellfire. He's like a landlord whose only tool is dynamite. You didn't pay rent on time? Fine, I'm blowing up the building. But what if he went to therapy? Just picture it. Therapist sits there calmly, pen ready. So, God, tell me how you feel. And God says, well, I feel betrayed. And the therapist says, why do you feel betrayed? And God goes, because my creations don't love me the way I want them to. And the therapist says, do you think maybe you're asking too much of them? Do you think maybe unconditional love isn't something you can force? And God's like, oh, that's the breakthrough moment. That's when he realizes maybe it's not about punishing everyone. Maybe it's about letting go. Maybe it's about self-acceptance. But he's not there yet. He's still in the stage where he's flipping over tables because someone sold a goat on the wrong day. And therapy would do wonders for his jealousy, too. Imagine telling a therapist, I'm jealous of statues. The therapist would blink 3 times and go, you created galaxies and you're worried about statues? And he'd have to sit there and say, yeah, I get really upset when people bow to statues. And the therapist would write, fragile ego needs coping strategies. Maybe instead of floods and brimstone, he should try journaling. Write it down, get it out. Dear diary, today the Amalekites didn't worship me again, and I feel unseen. Much healthier than murdering everybody, or meditation. Imagine God sitting cross-legged, breathing deeply. Inhale, exhale, let go of Sodom and Gomorrah. Suddenly, the whole Old Testament gets a lot calmer. No fire from the sky, no pillars of salt, just God humming and saying, it's fine, they're working through it. Or group therapy. Can you imagine Zeus, Odin, Shiva, Yahweh, Allah, all sitting in a circle with coffee cups? Hi, I'm God, and I have anger issues. Hi, God. And then they all talk about their daddy issues, because that's what it is. Deep down, it's parental baggage. And it keeps spilling out on us. And think of how much suffering would have been avoided if he'd just gone to one therapy session early on. No flood, no plagues, no genocides, no eternal hell. Just one therapist saying, maybe don't kill everyone when you're upset. Maybe just talk to them. The Bible would have been a pamphlet, 2 pages. God got mad. God worked it out. Everyone lived happily ever after. End of story. Instead, we get thousands of years of fear. People terrified of lightning bolts, terrified of hellfire, terrified of doing the wrong thing. Entire civilizations walking on eggshells because dad's in a bad mood again. That's not divine order. That's cosmic dysfunction. That's a family where the father slams doors and the kids hide under the table. And it's not like religion is basically group therapy for God. That's what it is. People think they're healing themselves, but really, the whole show is designed to keep him from having a nervous breakdown. Look around. Every week, millions of people gather in giant buildings, dress up, sit down, stand up, kneel, sing, pray, clap, chant. You ever stop and think about what that actually is? It's not just worship. It's not just tradition. It's one massive cosmic support group. 7 billion unpaid therapists keeping one very insecure deity from flipping out again. And he needs it too, badly, because without it he might start throwing tantrums again. You remember the Old Testament? That wasn't God on a good day. That was God before therapy. Floods, plagues, cities turned to ash. That's not holy justice. That's somebody acting out because he hasn't had his weekly affirmation session. Religion is set up exactly like therapy. Step 1, confess your sins. That's just sharing. Go ahead, get it off your chest. Tell us what you did this week. Except in therapy, you get advice. In church, you get guilt. In therapy, you might hear, maybe you should talk to your father about your anger. In church, you hear, your father is angry, and you'd better talk to him. Step 2, praise the higher power. That's the part where everyone tells God how wonderful he is. You're amazing, you're merciful, you're all-knowing, you're the best. That's the pep talk. That's the therapy circle, where you tell the unstable guy, we love you, you're doing great, don't destroy us this week. Everyone's just managing his moods. And then you give him money, you pass around the basket, the plate, the jar. Imagine therapy where after every session the therapist says, great work today, that'll be 10% of your income for life. That's not counseling, that's extortion with a hymn book. And the rituals, oh man, the rituals are pure therapy exercises. Light a candle, kneel 3 times, cross yourself, chant the magic words. It's like a support group for people who are terrified of what happens if they skip one step. Sorry, I missed 2 Hail Marys this week, am I still covered? That's not faith, that's insurance. What kills me is that people think they're helping themselves, but really they're keeping him calm. He's the one who needs the validation. Why else would he set it up this way? He doesn't just want you to love him privately in your heart. No. He wants it public, loud, coordinated. Songs, bells, incense, robes, pageantry. This isn't about devotion. This is theater therapy. The biggest Broadway show in history, and the lead actor needs constant applause, or he storms off the stage and burns the set down. And the best part, every religion thinks they're doing it right. Christians are singing, Muslims are praying, Jews are chanting, Hindus are dancing, Buddhists are meditating. Billions of people, different languages, different rituals, but the core message is the same. Don't worry, God, you're still number one. That's all it is. Competing therapy groups, each one convinced they're giving him the best treatment plan. But instead of making him healthier, it just makes us fight. My therapy group is better than your therapy group. Our songs are louder. Our prayers are purer. Our robes are shinier. Meanwhile, he's just sitting back collecting compliments like a spoiled child. It's insane. Imagine if patients in a mental hospital started fighting over who was cheering up the doctor best. That's what religion looks like from the outside. And confession, don't get me started. In therapy, you tell someone your problems so you can understand yourself. In religion, you tell a priest your problems so he can tell God, who supposedly already knew. That's redundant therapy. That's like sitting in front of your therapist and saying, I cheated on my diet this week. And the therapist says, I already knew, but thanks for saying it. Now go eat crackers for forgiveness. And what's the therapist's job? To make you feel better about yourself. What's religion's job? To make God feel better about himself. Because if he didn't need it, he wouldn't demand it. He'd just let you live your life. But no, he wants every thought recorded, every sin confessed, every good deed credited to his account. He's not just your God, he's your therapist, your parole officer, and your accountant all rolled into one. And the group part is important. You can't just do this at home. Oh, no. You can't just sit on the couch and say, hey, God, thanks for everything, talk to you later. That doesn't count. You got to go to the group. The group is the medicine. You got to show up, sit in a circle, chant with the others, because he doesn't just want your individual praise. He wants the chorus. He wants the band. He wants the full stadium effect. Because one person clapping isn't enough. He needs the crowd. He's addicted to it. He's the Mick Jagger of the universe. And you'll notice